Hi, it's Money Guy, Adam Phillips, and today I'm joined by Mr. Neil Murphy. Obviously, you might have noticed him on a couple of videos that we've done now, and I haven't seen you for
a little while, yeah.
A little while, in a couple of months maybe. So I thought I'd catch up with Neil, see what he's up to. There's always a few words of wisdom that he'll chuck our way, and just see how we're all doing. So Neil, yeah, I haven't seen you for a long time. Actually, been it must have been at least a couple of weeks, a couple of months, sorry now.
Yeah, at least, yeah. Thanks, Adam. Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, and I'd like to share with you that as we all know, the world is changing, and how do businesses? The big thing today is how do businesses unlock their potential growth, and particularly with restaurants and coffee shops and businesses where people now want the convenience at home of having their food and their drinks delivered. And so ultimately, one of the things I want to talk to you about is celebration takeaways. So we're finding, and I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely astonished at the size and the amount of big spend that people are making with takeaways on their online orders.
When you say you're right, absolutely right. I mean, in Andover, obviously, where we are, a year and a half ago, Uber Eats, Just Eat, all that kind of stuff, that wasn't a thing. You couldn't get. I mean, Andover is so behind; it's unreal. But now, I mean, if you go to the local McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, there are more drivers sitting there than customers. And like I went to McDonald's a couple of days ago, and they had queues. The cars were coming out of for the drive-through bit. So it's clear that people aren't eating inside these takeaways, those sort of places anymore. So when you say celebration, are you talking about like when we have according to yours recently, we had that Indian, didn't we?
I'm talking about family get-togethers, birthdays, wedding anniversaries, reunions, people catching up, groups of friends, those things where, ultimately what's happening is that, and we're working with quite a few really, really good restaurants, ambitious, hardworking, very responsive to our ideas, our suggestions, and we've really extensively researched the whole marketplace. And we're seeing the orders come through where if an order comes through and the average order is, let's say, I can state an actual case, £31.55. That's the average order size. And we're seeing orders come through at 60, 70, 90, 120, 147 pounds. Then, forgive me for saying this, but that couple or that family aren't eating double, treble, 4 or 5 times as much food. There's more people saying, hey, we're going to celebrate, we're going to stay in, we're not going to spend this massive amount of money going out, and we'll just have the convenience at home. And so I've got some real strong advice, tips, what we're working and is proving to work, and with restaurants. And being competitive, one of the things that we're doing is to beat your last month. That's the challenge. And having such a sales background where I come from, it's always about beating the last month. That's how you really, really grow. Yeah,
well, I suppose the challenge for any restaurateur or takeaway is to try and make as much money. Maybe this is what you're alluding to. I suppose what you want to try and do is make as fewer meals as possible, but with the most return. Because we don't want to be in a position where you're making 1,000 meals a day and only making £1 a meal. Because although you're making more meals, it's not actually more profitable.
Well, I can expand on this for you and say that what we're doing, we are studying, analysing, and it's very quickly done. It doesn't take long at the end of a month to look at the bigger orders. So if the average order that's coming through is £31.55 for one of our restaurants, where we've just seen this month they've had a good performance and they beat last month. And
Is this the one you've got on board at the moment?
Yeah, this is one of our restaurants. It's Spice Route. They're really, really good, hard-working, great team to work with. Their average order has increased. Their total revenue for the month has increased, and this is direct business. This isn't through any of the costly third-party marketplace businesses. Their average order has increased, their revenue has increased, the number of orders has increased, the bigger orders, and we're taking those at anything over £50 is a big order. So we're seeing those numbers increase, and we're also seeing midweek orders increase. So people are saying, we're not going to wait till the weekend, we've got something on at the weekend, but families, friends, groups of people are getting together, having a night in, and they're ordering big orders midweek. And that's what businesses really want, to really be confident and to have the freedom for their business to grow, the peace of mind, sleep at night, and you've got to know the numbers in your business. And I've just said some of those. You've got to know those numbers. You've got to know what the number of midweek orders are. And ultimately, if you want more of something that you've got in your business, then it comes down to marketing and energy and some small investment to get more. So you want more bigger orders, those orders are available. We know that in Oxford, with one of our restaurants, in the next 30 days, there's 8,000 birthdays.
In how many days, sorry?
In the next 30 days. There's 8,000 people that can be targeted on social media who've got an upcoming birthday. We know that there's a lot less, but it's just over 1,000 wedding anniversaries, and it's similar in places where we're working, like Plymouth and Harrow and Nottingham and different places where we know there's massive opportunity to get these bigger orders and to get pre-orders where there's payment in advance. This can all be done online, and there's a few other exciting things happening as well. But that's part of where my message is to restaurants, that don't miss out on this tightening of the economy that presents an opportunity to us. But it does mean work.
So, like you say, what was it that had 1,000? You just said
that was the wedding anniversaries, yeah.
So then I suppose there's also other things, aren't there? You know, you can go, expecting a baby could be a celebration, I guess. Birthdays, obviously, anniversaries, engagements. Yeah, even I suppose. I mean, it's a bit more morbid, but funerals, people gather, don't they, together, and tend to eat food together. So all the
we just done a podcast for a restaurant, which was specifically for funeral businesses, which was all about funeral luncheons.
Oh, wow,
because they understand the dignity, they've done some, they wanted more, and so we've done a podcast for them. It's a short one. It's really good. It's showed great. We've got some good interest for it. But whatever you want more of in your business, particularly as a restaurant or a coffee shop, then the opportunity is there to get them. And I think that loyalty takeaway for a restaurant now is more important than ever. So customers want to see, if I keep buying from you and I keep ordering online from you, are you going to reward me with, and it's very simple with the technology. We can now say, your 10th order is free, and it's assessed across the average of the spend of those other orders. And the other thing is about phone order control. Do we have time? Can I talk to you about that for a moment?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So phone order control is typically that we know one of the busiest times for a restaurant could be Saturday evening at 6 o'clock, 6:30.
Right.
They got a lot of incoming calls of people. Although a lot of people are ordering online, people will still make phone calls. And if the phone is engaged, people want to phone back and phone back again and just get more frustrated. So we have a technology now that means that when you make that customer makes that phone call, there'll be an automated message that says, "Thanks for contacting us. We reward customers who order online with special loyalty rewards. If you'd like to order online, press 1. If you really want to speak to someone in a restaurant, press 2. And people are migrating, and they are coming across onto the online order system that you can do on the phone. It just you press 1, sends them a link, and then they're straight into the order system. So we have to go with the flow. It's exploding what's happening with the online orders. And I think it's also very, very big where more restaurants are now saying to us, it's costing me too much to use the third-party, costly marketplace.
I was looking at something the other day. What I don't know if we're allowed to say the name of it, but there was something. Was it 40% for someone that delivers food?
Yeah.
40. So if you've got just to make sure I got this right.
Yeah, it's probably near around 30% of what it costs a restaurant to use the costly aggregators. And
so just to put that in perspective, from a customer to business point of view, if I order my £10 takeaway, right, because I've just got a meal for myself, right, then the business receives £7.
Yeah.
For a £10 meal.
Yeah.
But they've also...
Well, let's not get into those numbers because they do vary. We just know it's very, very costly.
Yeah.
There's massive savings if you're prepared to. I mean, we're now running some, we call them migration campaigns where, you know, restaurants have said, well, we've tried and we've sent out a menu with an order, but they didn't order direct. Well, menus aren't good enough, I'm afraid. You need a letter, and we've got a 10-point strategy plan where we write a direct mail, one-page letter with photos of the owners and the team and the chefs, because we want to bring some connection.
Oh, did you do that with Spice Route?
Yeah.
I got one over there.
Yeah, and we've done them through doors, we've done them with the orders going out, and it does generate business.
Yeah.
And people want to support their local restaurants, but the restaurants have got to do some, you know, they've got to get engaged with the local community. And so direct mail pieces definitely work. It's a one-page letter that goes out, hey, for your next order, just come online on our website. Here's the link or a QR code, and you can order online and we'll give you a special discount.
I suppose, is that where you'd capture the... I know you can obviously capture birth dates. How do you go about capturing other...
Well, the main thing we capture is the name, and we capture the mobile phone number. And we have the automation now because we know that the money and the profits for restaurants is in the repeat orders. Okay? Yeah. And ultimately, it's not the customer's job to remember to come back. And if anybody gets any one thing out of this conversation, it's one key tip. It's not the restaurant's, it's not the customer's job, should I say, to remember to come back. It's the restaurant and ours as marketing support people to remind those customers to come back. So our automation automatically sends customers who haven't reordered a communication to say, hey, you haven't ordered, we miss you, here's a special offer. And really...
And is that done by direct mail? Or is
it's done by SMS straight to their phone.
Right, okay.
It's an automated campaign. If customers are ordering, they don't get that.
So the mail comes with the orders?
Yeah.
And the other bit, the automation comes via text?
Yeah, comes by SMS. And that's really it. That's it in a nutshell. And there's only 3 ways that a restaurant can grow their business. Number 1, they get more customers.
Yeah.
Number 2, they get bigger customers and bigger customer orders. And number 3, you get customers to order and buy more frequently. It's as simple as that. Yeah. And that's part of what our strategy now is. You know, when we run a campaign, it's quite exciting, it's quite deep, but it needs to be in these days, because it is, if you get this right, then there's no reason for restaurants to not survive and do extremely well. So I hope that's helpful. I appreciate the coffee. Yeah, thanks very much. It's nice coffee. It's great to catch up with you. Things going well for you?
Yeah, really good, mate. I have got one question for you, though.
Yeah.
So, now, we obviously work together on other projects. In your opinion, what is the biggest restaurant killer? Is there something that you think, by doing this behaviour, that's what killing it? Is it that by not listening to customers, that's the thing? What do you think is there a single thing, or is there a multitude of things? Well,
I think there are many things, and maybe we can do a conversation, another one of these get-togethers where we can cover off this, because there are 7 mistakes that restaurants are making that they shouldn't. But the number 1 thing is that they must know as best they can, and they must interrogate what is going on in their business. And if they are seeing, because some restaurants are seeing smaller orders come through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And orders are dropping to, 12 and £15. Yeah. and then we're seeing bigger ones come through as well. So need to know, why are your customers ordering and spending so much more? And if it's because of birthdays, anniversaries, family get-togethers, reunions, catch-ups, we need to go and get more of those. You've got to know what's going on in your business. Definitely, you're right, listen to your customers and believe that if it hasn't worked before, it still can work. And that is in the migration of customers who are ordering on some of the big platforms.
Well, I've spoke about this before. In the Money Spinner webinar that I've done, one of the problems that people have is not analysing data. So what they end up doing is go, right, we've got 100 likes on this Facebook post and we've got 1,000 likes on this one. Brilliant. And they just start making another one. But then you or I would look at that and go, well, hang on a minute. Why is it that there's 1,000? Is it because the content's in a nicer setting? Could be the same video. Is it because we're using stock images rather than doing it ourselves?
Yeah.
Is it the video's shorter? Is it that, do you know what I mean? There's so many other things you need to sort of vary and test. I think it was you, it might have been you, I'm sure it was, who said about, you should always test, but you should test fast. No, test.
Yeah, test
quick,
small.
Test small,
and
fail
fast.
quick.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, people getting these. So, for example, they would look at that and go, "Oh, we've got a great big order here for £100. Brilliant." And then move on with life rather than analysing why.
Yeah. So in the testing, we would typically run a small number, maybe half a dozen, maybe 8, maybe more, small videos at low cost, and we'll test and we'll analyse, and it's almost scientific. But boy, is it worth it, because what we do is we stop, or we kill the losers, the ones that aren't working, and if there's one that's outperforming or two, then we scale those. Yeah. So if it's outperforming the winners, we scale them up. But that's really another conversation for another day. The important thing is to unlock the potential growth in your local delivery, your local area and zone. You've got to focus on what's going on in your customers and get them to reorder. And if you ask them in the right way with the right offers and the right care, then they will do that. And the right technology, because the technology will outperform all the skill in a restaurant. It's the technology that's making this happen. And we just had a restaurant that wanted to really have a record month. They wanted to have a bumper month. And we did an SMS broadcast. It wasn't to a lot of customers because they've got a small database at the moment. And we got, for a small spend of an SMS broadcast of about £24, yeah, we got over £600 worth of orders. Wow. And we'll get more repeat business as well. Yeah. So in a nutshell, it's about marketing. It's about knowing what's going on in your business.
Yeah. Well, cheers, Neil. Right, so if you've got any questions you want to put to Neil, feel free to get them in to us, because we're happy to if it means Neil's going to come in and buy some breakfast again, then I'm happy with that. So we'll have a little chat with Neil. So if any questions, any restaurateurs, any takeaways, maybe just if you're just running a business, doesn't have to be food, anything where you require repeat business, feel free to get in contact with us. Obviously, if you have any money problems or questions, come in and ping them in for myself. But for now, like and subscribe, listen to more podcasts if you wish, and remember, we've got the Money Guy YouTube channel if you want to find out some more useful hints and tips for you and your business. So for now, I'll love you, leave you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, Neil.
Thank you.